Chosen one, there are moments in time when heaven bends closer to earth. Nights when the air feels heavy, your chest feels full, and your spirit senses something unseen preparing to move. This is one of those nights. What you are feeling right now is not anxiety, it's alignment. Heaven is rearranging your atmosphere for transformation. You've walked through countless ordinary days, but this one carries a divine pulse, a vibration that calls your name in the silence. Everything around you feels slightly different. The stillness, the timing, the quiet thoughts that echo louder than usual. That's not coincidence. It's prophecy unfolding in real time. God has circled this night on your timeline since before you were born. There's a frequency that surrounds you right now. The frequency of becoming. It hums through your breath, whispers through the wind, and trembles beneath your skin. This is heaven, tuning you into your next form. The old you, the one that doubted, feared, and hesitated, is dissolving. What remains will be power, steady, radiant purpose. Chosen one, every hardship you faced this year brought you to this threshold. Every tear softened your spirit. Every disappointment emptied a space for new light. You thought those seasons were punishment, but they were purification. Heaven wasn't ignoring you, it was refining you. And now the refining fire has cooled. What's left is gold. That's why tonight feels different. The same stillness that once made you restless now feels sacred. The silence that used to scare you now feels alive. You're no longer afraid of the quiet because you finally understand that God speaks most clearly there. This is the atmosphere of divine becoming, when your spirit stops chasing and starts receiving. There's an energy around you tonight that doesn't need validation. It doesn't shout. It glows. It's the same current that moved over creation when God said, "Let there be light." That light wasn't just for the world. It was for souls like yours. When heaven whispers over you tonight, it's not calling you forward. It's calling you out of who you were, out of the waiting, out of the version of yourself that had to break so your true self could breathe. You may feel warmth in your chest or a weight in your body. That's presence. The veil between seen and unseen thins on nights like this. Angels align around chosen ones in silence, not to impress, but to assist. They've been waiting for this frequency to open, the moment when your faith finally matched your future. Chosen one, this is not the end of a season. It's the emergence of your real identities. Heaven is shifting from preparation to revelation. Everything that was delayed is now aligning. Everything that was uncertain is now unfolding. God is not just near tonight, He is in motion. So stay still. Don't force meaning. Don't ask and how. Just breathe. You don't need to understand this night. You only need to honor it. Because in this atmosphere, even your silence becomes worship. By the time the dawn comes, you'll realize that something inside you has changed shape. Not because of effort, but because of presence. You'll see it in your thoughts, feel it in your peace, and sense it in the way your soul finally fits. This is what divine energy feels like. Not loud, not dramatic, but undeniable. You're standing inside a holy hour, written just for you. So lift your eyes, chosen one. The night isn't dark, it's sacred. Heaven is near, and the energy surrounding you is not warning. it's welcome. By the time this night ends, you won't just remember it, you'll embody it, because what's descending now is the beginning of who you truly are. Chosen one, there are moments in time when heaven bends closer to earth. Nights when the air feels heavy, your chest feels full, and your spirit senses something unseen preparing to move. This is one of those nights. What you are feeling right now is not anxiety, it's alignment. Heaven is rearranging your atmosphere for transformation. You've walked through countless ordinary days, but this one carries a divine pulse, a vibration that calls your name in the silence. Everything around you feels slightly different. The stillness, the timing, the quiet thoughts that echo louder than usual. That's not coincidence. It's prophecy unfolding in real time. God has circled this night on your timeline since before you were born. There's a frequency that surrounds you right now. The frequency of becoming. It hums through your breath, whispers through the wind, and trembles beneath your skin. This is heaven, tuning you into your next form. The old you, the one that doubted, feared, and hesitated, is dissolving. What remains will be pure, steady, radiant purpose. Chosen one, every hardship you faced this year brought you to this threshold. Every tear softened your spirit. Every disappointment emptied space for new light. You thought those seasons were punishment, but they were the purification. Heaven wasn't ignoring you. It was refining you. And now the refining fire has cooled. What's left is gold. That's why tonight feels different. The same stillness that once made you restless now feels sacred. The silence that used to scare you now feels alive. You're no longer afraid of the quiet because you finally understand that God speaks most clearly there. This is the atmosphere of divine becoming, when your spirit stops chasing and starts receiving. There's an energy around you tonight that doesn't need validation. It doesn't shout, it glows. It's the same current that moved over creation when God said, "Let there be light." That light wasn't just for the world, it was for souls like yours. When heaven whispers over you tonight, it's not calling you forward, it's calling you out. Out of who you were, out of the waiting, out of the version of yourself that had to break so your true self could breathe. You may feel warmth in your chest or a weight in your body. That's presence. The veil between seen and unseen thins on nights like this. Angels align around chosen ones in silence, not to impress, but to assist. They've been waiting for this frequency to open, the moment when your faith finally matched your future. Chosen one, this is not the end of a season. It's the emergence of your real identity. Heaven is shifting from preparation to revelation. Everything that was delayed is now aligning. Everything that was uncertain is now unfolding. God is not just near tonight, He is in motion. So stay still. Don't force meaning. Don't ask how. Just breathe. You don't need to understand this night. You only need to honor it. Because in this atmosphere, even your silence becomes worship. By the time the dawn comes, you'll realize that something inside you has changed shape, not because of effort, but because of presence. You'll see it in your thoughts, feel it in your peace, and sense it in the way your soul finally fits. This is what divine energy feels like. Not loud, not dramatic, but undeniable. You're standing inside a holy hour written just for you. So lift your eyes, chosen one. The night isn't dark, it's sacred. Heaven is near, and the energy surrounding you is not warning. It's welcome. By the time this night ends, you won't just remember it, you'll embody it. Because what's descending now is the beginning of who you truly are. Chosen one, transformation never happens suddenly. It happens secretly. Before heaven reveals who you are, it prepares the ground beneath your feet. What felt like delay was actually divine design. Every closed door, every unanswered prayer, every silent night was God preparing your atmosphere for what's about to emerge. You see, heaven doesn't build destiny in comfort. It builds it in pressure. That's why your life recently felt like it was being stripped to the bone, because you were being positioned for revelation. Everything that fell away wasn't punishment. It was pruning. God had to remove the noise around you so you could hear the frequency of who you truly are. Think back over the past months. The friendships that faded, the plans that dissolved, the emotions that kept surfacing, they weren't random. They were signs that heaven was making space. Space for truth, clarity, peace, and identity. You couldn't carry the next version of yourself with the same attachments of the last season. Transformation always requires subtraction before expansion. Chosen one, heaven's preparation often feels like chaos because your spirit knows what's coming, but your mind doesn't. The spiritual realm moves first, then the physical follows. That's why confusion hits before clarity, restlessness before revelation. It's not disorder, it's alignment. God always stirs the water before he walks on it. There were moments you thought God had forgotten you, but in reality, he was hiding you. You were being refined in silence, strengthened in secret. The isolation you felt was divine insulation. Heaven protecting your development until it was time for unveiling. You weren't being punished, you were being preserved. Heaven's preparation isn't always gentle. Sometimes it comes through heartbreak that humbles you, loss that purifies your motives, and waiting that matures your faith. Every unanswered question became an altar where your old self died and your new self began to breathe. That's the mystery of divine becoming. It breaks you before it builds you. Chosen one, the heaviness you carried wasn't the weight of failure. It was the weight of forming. You were being molded for a higher frequency, one that requires purity, patience, and purpose. God wasn't ignoring your cries. He was perfecting your capacity, because where you're going, peace will be your power, and presence will be your weapon. Look closer. Everything heaven removed from your life created clarity. The people who left made room for peace. The plans that failed made space for faith. The silence you hated became the sanctuary where your spirit learned to listen. You didn't lose anything essential. You lost distractions disguised as destiny. Heaven's preparation is also emotional. That's why your heart's been shifting. Old desires fading, new ones appearing without explanation. God has been rewiring your spirit's compass, pointing you not toward what's popular, but what's purposeful. You're no longer driven by reaction. You're being led by revelation. You may notice that lately, your sensitivity feels heightened. You pick up on emotions, patterns, and energies you never noticed before. That's not overwhelm. It's activation. Heaven has been upgrading your spiritual senses so you can discern what's divine from what's disguised. Every wave of emotion has been training you to recognize presence. Chosen one, heaven's preparation always comes before heaven's presentation. You've been through the storm, the silence, and the surrender. And now every unseen moment of endurance has gathered into momentum. Tonight, that preparation reaches fulfillment. Everything that was stripped away has made room for what's about to descend. Everything that confused you will soon confirm itself. The energy around you is clear now, refined, balanced, holy. You've been emptied not to feel hollow, but to be filled with something eternal. So when you feel peace tonight, that strange, sacred stillness that doesn't make sense, don't ignore it. That's the final stage of preparation. Heaven isn't waiting to move. It's waiting for you to recognize it already has. You are standing in the afterglow of divine design. Everything that left was necessary. Everything that remains is sacred. You were not being prepared for change. You are the change heaven prepared. By the time this night ends, you'll look back and realize the silence was strategy, the loss was cleansing, and the waiting was becoming. Chosen one, tonight is not just about change. It's about activation. Something ancient, something divine, something buried deep within your spirit is beginning to awaken. This is not imagination, it's inheritance. Heaven placed codes of destiny inside you long before you were born, and now the energy of this night is unlocking them one by one. You are feeling it already, but that pulsing energy in your chest, the way your thoughts feel brighter, the peace that doesn't make sense. It's because the light within you has reached its appointed hour. You were not designed to stay hidden. You were designed to ignite. Every hardship you endured cracked open another layer of your soul, so this light could finally breathe. Spiritual DNA is more than faith. It's divine memory. It's the echo of what God spoke over you before time began. It carries your true essence, your purpose, your anointing, your spiritual lineage. Every time you pray, surrender, forgive, or worship in silence, that DNA vibrates, responding to heaven's frequency. And tonight, heaven is speaking directly to it. You might feel a warmth spreading through your body, or a sudden lightness in your spirit. Don't dismiss it. That's activation. The same energy that moved over creation is moving through your cells, through your breath, through your consciousness. Heaven is not outside of you. It's unfolding within you. You are not waiting for presence. You are becoming it. Chosen one, awakening is not always loud. Sometimes it feels like peace replacing panic, forgiveness washing away bitterness, or tears falling for no reason other than release. That's your spiritual DNA remembering who you are. You are not who the world named you. You are who God designed you to become. Every vibration of this awakening rewrites your inner code, from fear to faith, from confusion to clarity, from survival to surrender. The transformation may come in waves. You'll notice old thoughts losing power, old triggers fading, old wounds no longer stinging. That's the sign of new energy taking root. What once felt like trauma now feels like testimony. What once broke you now blesses you. You're not trying to escape your past anymore. You're integrating it into your purpose. Heaven's energy flows through lineage, but its awakening begins with decision. When you choose peace over reaction, light over judgment, stillness over chaos, your spiritual DNA responds. It starts to reorganize, to glow, to align with divine frequency. You become a living portal for heaven's energy to move freely through earth. That's why lately people react differently around you. Some are drawn, others are unsettled. It's not them, it's your energy revealing truth. Chosen one, God didn't hide your power from you. He hid it within you until you are strong enough to carry it with humility. That's what this night represents. Not the beginning of your calling, but the unveiling of it. The veil is lifting, and your true identity is rising. You'll begin to receive insights effortlessly, thoughts that feel downloaded, words that feel whispered, peace that feels alive. That's heaven, syncing your consciousness with purpose. You are remembering your original design, the one untouched by fear, untouched by limitation. Don't be surprised if the world around you starts responding differently tomorrow. Opportunities will appear. Conversations will confirm what your spirit already knows. Synchronicities will multiply. The external will start to mirror the internal shift that began tonight. Because once your DNA awakens, creation recognizes you. This awakening doesn't make you above others. It makes you available to God. You'll find yourself drawn to purpose more than pleasure, to peace more than attention, to solitude more than noise. It's because heaven has realigned your nature with its own. You are not chasing miracles anymore. You are carrying them. Chosen one, your transformation isn't coming. It's already happening. Every breath tonight carries divine frequency. Every heartbeat is a drum announcing your emergence. The version of you that heaven always saw is now stepping forward, radiant, balanced, unshakable. So when you lie down after hearing this, whisper, "I receive." Because tonight is not about waiting for a sign. It is the sign. Your spiritual DNA has awakened, and the light that lives within you will never go dark again. Chosen one, as heaven begins to move through your spirit, the shift doesn't just happen within you, it begins to echo all around you. The vibration of your soul changes, and creation starts to respond. The air feels heavier, but somehow peaceful. Time slows down. Ordinary moments begin to feel sacred. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that you've entered the frequency of transformation. One of the first signs is spiritual dissonance. Suddenly, things that used to excite you feel empty. Conversations that once entertained you now drain your energy. You find yourself craving silence, distance, and depth. This isn't isolation, it's elevation. Heaven is detaching you from noise so you can tune into divine frequency. When you no longer fit where you once belonged, it's because your vibration has shifted. You'll also notice heightened awareness. Patterns will stand out. Numbers will repeat. Words and songs will align too perfectly to be chance. That's not the algorithm, that's alignment. Heaven communicates through synchronicity, and when your spirit is fully awake, everything becomes a message. The world begins to mirror your energy, confirming that you're moving in rhythm with God's design. Then comes the purification wave. Old emotions rise to the surface, not to torment you, but to leave you. You might feel sadness, agitation, or even fatigue for no apparent reason. Don't resist it. The energy of transformation always clears the system, before it fills it. Heaven cannot pour new oil into a vessel still holding old residue. Every tear, every sigh, every release is sacred. It's your spirit detoxing from the past. Another sign is divine stillness. The chaos that once filled your mind begins to lose volume. You catch yourself pausing more, breathing deeper, reacting less. It's not that you stopped caring, it's that your spirit has stopped fighting what's already been decided. That's the calm that follows surrender. Heaven always moves loud before it moves quiet. And when the quiet comes, you'll know you've stepped into alignment. Chosen one, transformation frequency also affects your body. Your sleep patterns shift. You wake up at unusual hours, often around 3 a.m., not from restlessness, but from spiritual activity. Your energy changes, sometimes electric, sometimes serene. You may feel heat in your hands, tingling in your chest, or a light pressure on your forehead. These are not random sensations. They are signals of activation. Heaven is fine-tuning your vessel to carry higher light. Relationships begin to mirror this change too. Some people will drift away without conflict. Others will be drawn to you as if magnetized. Don't chase either outcome. Frequency sorts company. Those meant for your next chapter will feel peace around you. Those still anchored to the past will feel discomfort. You don't need to explain it. You only need to honor it. You'll also begin to experience time distortion. Moments stretch and contract as heaven adjusts your perception. What once felt like waiting now feels like unfolding. You begin to sense that every delay was divine. That's how you know transformation has begun. Impatience turns into trust. You stop measuring progress by speed and start feeling it by peace. Chosen one, another unmistakable sign, is spiritual magnetism. Opportunities start finding you. Conversations lead to confirmation. Even strangers feel compelled to tell you things you needed to hear. Heaven is orchestrating alignment through ordinary vessels. You no longer chase signs. Signs follow you. That's what happens when your frequency matches your purpose. And finally, you'll feel the inner glow. It's not emotion, it's energy, a steady warmth behind your ribs, a quiet joy that doesn't need a reason. That's divine presence merging with your identity. When that happens, you'll know you've crossed over. You're not waiting for transformation anymore. You are radiating it. So don't be alarmed by what's leaving or confused by what's shifting. Heaven is reorganizing your life to match the energy of your destiny. Every silence, every sign, every sensation, they're proof that God is not just near, He's within. You are entering transformation frequency, the point where waiting becomes becoming and faith turns into form. By the time the night ends, you won't have to wonder if it's real. You'll feel it in your bones. How heaven activates purpose through stillness. Chosen one, the next stage of transformation doesn't come through striving. It comes through stillness. The world taught you that movement means progress, but heaven moves differently. God activates purpose not when you chase it, but when you quiet enough to hear it. Every great awakening begins in silence. Every divine instruction is born in peace. You've spent so much time pushing, proving, and performing, but heaven has been whispering, "Be still." Because in stillness, your true alignment emerges. You stop trying to create your own path and start sensing the one already written for you. Stillness isn't inactivity, it's divine cooperation. It's when your soul and heaven finally breathe in rhythm. Chosen one, this is why God sometimes isolates you before elevation. He removes the noise, the opinions, the endless distractions, not to punish you, but to position you. Stillness is not emptiness. It's incubation. It's where destiny grows roots. The same way seeds need silence beneath the soil, your purpose needs quiet beneath the surface. When you stop forcing outcomes, you allow God to move. That's the paradox of spiritual activation. Heaven accelerates what you surrender. The moments you call nothing happening are the very moments God is rearranging everything unseen. Every time you pause to pray, to breathe, to sit in awareness, heaven takes another step on your behalf. You may have noticed that lately your spirit craves solitude. Crowds exhaust you. Noise feels heavier than usual. It's because heaven has shifted you into a frequency where stillness is sacred. You're no longer fed by stimulation. You're fed by presence. When you sit in silence now, you can feel energy moving, thoughts clearing, peace expanding. That's not laziness. That's divine's alignment stabilizing within you. Stillness is how God speaks without words. Sometimes it comes as a sudden calm that interrupts your worry, or a sense of peace that replaces your need to control. That's heaven saying, "I've got it now." When that presence settles, you don't need confirmation. You become confirmation. The same light that once guided you now shines from within you. Chosen one, heaven activates purpose in quiet ways because purpose requires sensitivity. If you're always surrounded by noise, you'll miss the whisper. That's why this season has been pruning your distractions. Social noise, emotional attachments, mental clutter. You've been learning to sit with yourself and realize that God was there all along. In stillness, your spiritual senses heighten. You begin to perceive direction before it's spoken. You recognize opportunities before they appear. You feel what's right before it's revealed. That's divine intuition. The language of the Spirit, activated through silence. The more you rest, the more clearly you see. But understand this, stillness is not passive. It's powerful. Every moment you resist reacting, you reclaim your energy. Every second you choose peace instead of panic, you strengthen spiritual authority. Stillness isn't the absence of motion, it's the mastery of it. It's moving from reaction to revelation. Heaven doesn't rush. It waits for alignment. That's why doors that once refused to open will soon unlock effortlessly. Not because you pushed harder, but because you finally matched their vibration. Stillness opens what struggle never could. Chosen one, there will come a moment tonight when you feel peace wash over you so deeply it almost feels unnatural. That's your cue. Heaven is near. Don't fill the space with noise. Don't break the moment with worry. Just breathe. Let the silence speak. Because in that silence, God is not only speaking to you, He's speaking through you. This is the mystery of divine activation. When you stop moving in the flesh, heaven starts moving in the spirit. When you let go of control, God releases direction. When you rest, He reveals. Stillness is the meeting point between your will and His wisdom. It's where transformation stops being theory and becomes truth. So tonight, don't rush to do anything, just be. The stillness around you isn't emptiness, it's evidence. Heaven is active in the quiet, and in that quiet, Your purpose is awakening. Chosen one, there comes a moment when heaven stops preparing you and starts revealing you. You've been refined in silence, stretched in spirit, and purified by delay, all for this, the moment of becoming. It won't happen with thunder. It won't be loud. It begins quietly, like breath returning to lungs after a long underwater wait. Suddenly, everything feels lighter. The air, your thoughts, even your body begins to vibrate with purpose. This is that moment. You'll feel it before you understand it, a sudden awareness that you're not who you were even yesterday. Your spirit feels expanded, your energy calm yet powerful. It's the realization that you've crossed from waiting to walking, from healing to being healed. Heaven has moved from visitation to habitation. God isn't just near, He's now moving through you. Every version of you that had to break for this one to rise is now at peace. The fear, the doubt, the shame, they no longer belong to your vibration. The old self can't breathe in this new frequency. You've stepped into divine oxygen. What once exhausted you now empowers you. What once triggered you now teaches you. You're not surviving the transformation anymore. You're embodying it. Chosen one, when the moment of becoming arrives, you notice stillness feels charged. The air hums with invisible light. The same silence that once scared you now feels holy. You can sense presence moving through your thoughts, rewriting your inner dialogue. Every word heaven ever spoke over you begins to echo inside your chest. You are chosen. You are ready. You are mine. This is not motivation. It's manifestation. The power of God that once hovered above your life has entered it. You've become a vessel of divine current, carrying heaven's energy in human form. That's why the world will feel slower, lighter, quieter, because your frequency no longer matches chaos. You've become peace. You might cry without knowing why. You might laugh without reason. That's your soul releasing centuries of heaviness. The moment of becoming doesn't just transform the present. It rewrites your entire timeline. Every wound, every betrayal, every unanswered prayer collapses into understanding. You begin to see how nothing was wasted. Every delay was direction. Every loss was leading you here. This is when divine alignment becomes physical. The atmosphere responds to your energy. Technology glitches, lights flicker, animals act differently. Even the wind changes direction. Nature itself recognizes the shift. Because when a chosen one ascends, creation rejoices. You carry the same light that spoke stars into being, and tonight, that light remembers itself. Chosen one, this moment is sacred. Don't rush it. Don't question it. Don't try to prove it. Just feel it. The trembling in your spirit is not fear, it's frequency. You are syncing with heaven's rhythm. You're no longer praying for breakthrough. You are breakthrough. The miracle you've been asking for is happening through you, not around you. When you open your eyes after tonight, your perception will be different. You'll see beauty in what used to look broken. You'll sense potential in what once felt painful. The gift of becoming is vision, the ability to see from heaven's perspective while walking on earth. This is the unveiling of the new you, not a replacement, but a resurrection. The divine version of you that's been waiting beneath the surface is now alive. You are not entering your purpose. Your purpose is entering you. Chosen one, this is what destiny feels like. Quiet, undeniable, irreversible. It doesn't demand applause. It radiates authority. You don't need to announce this shift. The light in your eyes will say everything. By the time this night ends, you will have crossed an invisible threshold, from potential to power, from seeking to seeing, from human limitation to divine embodiment. You have not just survived your becoming, you have become. And now heaven looks at you and whispers, finally, you remember who you are. Chosen one, as the night gives way to morning, heaven begins to reveal what has changed. The air feels new, the silence feels different. It's as if creation itself knows something has been reborn. You may not see it in the mirror yet, but your spirit knows it. The energy within you has shifted forever. The old frequency has fallen away, and the new you has stepped forward, radiant and still. This dawn is not about light entering your world. It's about light emerging from within you. You are no longer chasing illumination, you have become the source. The same glow that once surrounded you in visions and prayers now lives inside your breath. You have become what heaven spoke, what prophecy foresaw, what darkness feared. This is the dawn of the new you. You'll notice the difference in subtle ways first. The things that used to bother you will lose their power. The words that once wounded you won't even reach your spirit. You will find peace where you once found pressure. That's how heaven confirms identity. Through stillness that cannot be shaken, your perspective will change. You'll look at your past without pain, your present without fear, and your future without doubt. You'll realize that the version of you who waited, prayed, and wept has fulfilled their assignment. Their chapter ends here, and in this sunrise, the new you begins, the one who carries light instead of looking for it. Chosen one, this is why your recent nights felt heavier than usual. Heaven was closing one cycle and activating another. You were being recalibrated for this exact vibration. Every sleepless hour, every emotional wave, every quiet whisper that told you it's almost time, it all led here. The breaking was not destruction, it was delivery. Now your spirit stands clear, uncluttered, refined, aware. You've entered divine rhythm. You don't have to push anymore. You only have to flow. What's meant for you will start appearing with supernatural ease. Conversations will align, paths will open, and even coincidences will feel intentional. That's how you know you're walking in purpose. Peace becomes your compass. You will begin to feel heaven's presence more continuously now, not as sudden encounters, but as constant awareness. The line between prayer and life will blur. You'll think of something and the confirmation will appear instantly. This is divine flow. When your energy matches God's will so precisely that reality adjusts to your faith. But remember this truth. The dawn of the new you doesn't erase humility. It deepens it. You'll carry more power, but also more peace. You'll speak less, yet your words will carry weight. You'll walk slower, but everything around you will accelerate. That's divine paradox, heaven's rhythm, operating through human form. The new you is not louder, it's lighter. Not busier, but brighter. You're not here to impress, you're here to illuminate. People will feel it when you enter the room, not your presence, but the presence within you. You'll notice hearts softening, tensions dissolving, atmospheres shifting. It won't be you doing it. It will be the light in you doing what light always does: reveal, heal, and awaken. Chosen one, this dawn marks the moment where destiny stops being prophecy and starts being experience. Everything that was promised begins to take form. Heaven has declared the time of becoming is complete. The era of embodiment has begun. Walk gently into this new day. Don't rush, don't overthink. Just allow your spirit to guide your steps. You are no longer being tested. You are being trusted. And as the first light of this new dawn touches your soul, remember, you are not a new person. You are your truest self, finally revealed. This is the dawn heaven waited for, the morning your spirit remembers its origin. You have become what God always saw. The light no longer visits you, it lives in you. Chosen one, this is the moment heaven has been building toward, the final revelation of who you truly are. Not the version the world taught you to be, not the identity shaped by pain or pressure, but the one heaven spoke into existence long before time began. Everything that has happened, every storm, every silence, every season of waiting, was designed to lead you here, to this realization. You are not becoming someone new. You are remembering who you've always been. The transformation that began tonight was never about addition. It was about unveiling. God didn't place something new inside you. He removed what was never you to begin with. The fears, the doubts, the false identities, they were just dust covering gold. And now the gold is shining. You've stepped into the frequency of fulfillment. The air feels alive because it recognizes what's awakened within you. Heaven has spoken, and creation is responding. The same light that hovered over the waters in Genesis now moves through your breath. The same spirit that called galaxies into being now calls your name in quiet confidence. You are walking revelation, living proof that prophecy doesn't fade, it fulfills. Chosen one, your energy has changed forever. You've crossed from potential to purpose, from prayer to embodiment. You are no longer reaching for alignment. You are alignment. When people encounter you now, they'll feel peace without knowing why. They'll sense light without seeing its source. That's because heaven's essence has merged with your presence. You've become a carrier of divine atmosphere. This is the mystery of transformation. God doesn't visit to impress. He indwells to empower. You are now the evidence that heaven can make a home in human form. The separation between spiritual and physical has dissolved. What once felt like distance between you and God has vanished. You and heaven are breathing in rhythm. You'll begin to notice that your words carry new weight. What you speak will start to manifest faster, not because you're powerful, but because your frequency and heaven's will are synchronized. Thoughts born in peace now hold creative authority. You'll speak healing and watch it happen. You'll declare light and the room will shift. That's not coincidence, that's co-creation. Chosen one, don't be afraid of this power. You didn't earn it, you inherited it. This is the moment your spiritual DNA completes its awakening. You are walking in the fullness of your design. You no longer pray from lack. You decree from abundance. You no longer ask for direction. You move as direction. Heaven is saying, You have become what I spoke. You are my reflection in motion. And with that truth, fear loses its grip completely. There is no going back. The veil has lifted. The divide has closed. You have become the living intersection between time and eternity. This night will be remembered by your spirit forever. Not because of what happened around you, but because of what was resurrected within you. The divine self, the version sculpted in light, molded in patience, refined in fire, has taken the throne of your being. From this moment forward, you will move differently, speak differently, love differently. You'll carry a quiet authority that doesn't demand recognition, but commands respect. The world will not fully understand it, but heaven will celebrate it. Because when a chosen one finally remembers who they are, the entire universe realigns. Darkness loses territory, light multiplies, and heaven whispers, "It is done." So take a deep breath, chosen one. Feel the stillness, feel the glow. Feel the truth settling in your bones. You are not chasing destiny anymore. You are embodying it. This is the final revelation. You are becoming what heaven spoke. And from this night on, you will never forget the sound of your true name, the one only God calls in the silence.